Hey, good morning everybody. I was going to do a video about this truck because I haven't actually done a video about the truck itself and how it's treated me over the years. And wouldn't you know it, I think I jinxed it because the truck is broken down for the very first time. This is a 2013 F-150. If you see my other videos, this truck's got 123,000 miles on it and it has never had a hiccup until now. I came out here yesterday and I noticed that it was dripping coolant on the ground, and I started looking, and sure enough, it's coming out of this upper radiator hose, the infamous T connector that you guys have heard about. So if you haven't seen this before, by the way, this is of course a 5-liter V8 engine. This upper radiator hose has a fancy plastic connector on it, and if you look in there you can see that white O-ring. That's a harder material, kind of a plastic material, and then right behind that one is a rubber O-ring like you're used to. And what happens is over time those things flatten out. They get pancaked in there, and as the miles rack up they flatten out. So here's the replacement. You can see it's nice and round, looks normal. We're going to pop that in here. Here's the part number for this particular ring. I picked it up at the dealership this morning. It was a few bucks. And since this truck's got 123,000 miles on it, I thought it would be a good time to go ahead and change out the drive belts on this truck also. There are two on this truck, so make sure you get both of them if you're going to do this. Since everything's going to be out of the way, I figured it would be a really good time to do this and get it done, because winter is coming. Snow's in the forecast this week. So I'm going to take a pick tool and just pull that old O-ring out, pop that new one in. And then you notice this silver clip on here, and also if you look there, there's a indention in there you have to line up. So make sure you line that back up with the fitting, and then you just slide this into place. It actually goes the other way. Let me turn it around here. It actually goes on like this. You just slide it back into place, pop that clip back up in there, and then it should be hopefully good to go. Now a lot of guys said they have a leak over here at the tank. There's a very similar fitting there on the bottom of the coolant tank. Mine seems to be dry as a bone, and my hose is in good shape too. So I think that the only problem is this O-ring, and hopefully replacing that will fix the problem. So I'm going to get these belts put on, change out that O-ring, put some coolant in there. It takes the orange coolant on this particular model. You have to check your owner's manual and see what kind you need, but mine has that orange coolant. That stuff was about $22 a gallon. I got the concentrated kind so I can spread it a little farther. But that's going to be about it. You know, like I said, 123,000 miles. This truck has not even had a hiccup until now. Has run flawlessly, gets good power, no ticking or knocking or anything like that. Engine has been really solid. This is just a very common repair here to have radiator hose leaks at this mileage, so not a big deal at all. We'll get this knocked out today. I haven't had any trouble out of the vacuum operated hubs yet. They work really good. Haven't had any trouble at all out of the drive line at all. Transfer case. Of course, I went through and changed all the fluids on this truck last year when it was at 100,000 miles. I went ahead and changed the transmission fluid, put a new transmission filter in it. I couldn't find the dealership who would do that for me. They all wanted to hook a flush machine up to it, which I did not want. For one thing, these trucks have a thermal bypass valve in them, so if you don't get it up to operating temperature, you're not going to get all the transmission fluid out anyway. So anyway, I just dropped the pan, changed the filter in the fluid, changed the fluid in the rear differential, transfer case, had all the coolant replaced. Of course, it's going to get partially replaced here again today because of this repair that I'm about to make. This truck has been serviced front to back. It's been very, very good to me. I don't have any issues at all with it. As far as the body goes, there's no rust at all on this truck except for that one place on the cab corner over on the other side of the truck. I did a video about this probably a couple months ago. This is a pretty common issue over here too. It can happen on either side, but on mine there's a little rust spot right here on the passenger side rear cab corner. That's the only spot on the whole truck that's got rust on it, and I think the culprit may have been that third brake light up there. So that has been resealed, and it doesn't seem to be getting any worse at this point, but I'm going to keep an eye on it obviously. otherwise, man, this thing has been really good to me. I love this truck. I tell you what, a lot of these trucks, when they get to 100,000 miles, one of the things you notice is that the interior starts to show wear and tear on it. This one has, hasn't done that. And I'm going to show you the driver's seat. If I can get in here. You can imagine a 225-pound dude getting in and out of this truck every day. Look at this. The driver's seat, of course, is a little bit of a, it's dirty. I use it as a truck. But this area right here normally gets torn and worn. Not the case on this truck. It looks really good. The fabrics overall look really good in this truck. The interior still holding up really good. All the buttons still have the text printed on them, hasn't rubbed off. I mean, it's just been a really, really good truck. The quality is really here on these. And I'll tell you, I've looked at the 15 and newer models with the aluminum bodies, and it looks to me like the interior has been sacrificed a little bit to make up for the cost of that aluminum body, because the interior on the new trucks, to me, just doesn't look quite as polished, I guess you would say. The fit and finish just isn't quite as nice on them as these previous gen trucks. But anyway, if you're in the market for a used pickup truck and you're looking at this generation of F-150, don't hesitate, because these things are really, really solid trucks. They've got a few issues, and they all do. Doesn't matter which brand you buy, you're going to have some issues. But overall, I've had them all. I've had Chevy trucks, Ford trucks, I've had 2 Ram 1500s, I've had Toyotas, I've had a Nissan. I've worked every one of them, and in my opinion, overall, Ford makes about the best truck you can buy. They really do. It's just the total package is here. They're tough, they're rugged, they last a long time, they have very low incident repairs. I prefer the V8 over the EcoBoost, because in this particular generation of truck, they had the first generation EcoBoost option. Those engines did have more problems than the V8. I know a lot of guys love them. But come on, you have to admit they did have their fair share of problems. Water in the intercoolers, turbo failures, supplemental vacuum pump failures, brake booster issues, I think was one of the recalls. They had timing chain issues, carbon buildup on the valves, all kinds of little things with those EcoBoost engines. That's why I selected this V8. I test drove both pretty extensively when I was in the market, but I went with the V8, and I'm glad that I did. So I'm going to wrap this up and get started on this repair. We got a nice day here, and the snow is coming, so I'm going to get this knocked out. And I got Dixie here for moral support. And of course, before you get started on this, you have to pop the top on a nice L81 soda. That'll just get you on through. You guys have a good day, and thanks for watching.